So, students, I very apologize that something happened to my videos here. So, in the future, I was trying to find a better connector to get this correctly for you guys. But I think I was trying to help you guys with the key language spelling your name. So let's go back and redo this again because I did have a video, then it was taken out again. So here we says, how do you spell your first name? This is how you talk to someone to spell their first name. So here in this sentence here we have, my name's Jacob. Notice that Jacob's name is on here. And we're going to say Jacob's name out loud by saying each letter individually. So Jacob starts with letter J, A, C, O, B. Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys here. There you go. Alright. And then I'm going to go over here. Alright. Jacob will always start with a letter J in the beginning, followed with A, C, O, B. Alright. How do you spell your last name? It is important to let people know how to spell your last name. Because if you have a long last name, you need to tell people on the phone or speak to them or let them know how do you spell your name. So this is how you ask someone to spell their last name. So Jacob last name is Williams. So say it with me, Williams. So William with the S at the end. Jacob last name start with the letter W. I double L. So L L I A M and S. So let's say that again. W I L L I A M and S. Here we have on this sentence here, how do you spell your full name? This is your first name and your last name. So first name and last name. Bringing Jacob and bringing William together, combine them. First name. Okay. This is your first name. That will be your first name. Last name will be this one right here. Williams. Jacob Williams. So, for instance, if you are on a telephone speaking to someone and they really don't know how to correct your name on a piece of paper, on a computer, on whatever they're working on when you're talking to them, you need to speak to them out loud on the phone or in person to let them know how do you correctly spell your first name and your last name. Alright, let's spell out the entire full name. Jacob. J-A-C-O-B. Last name. Williams. Spell W-I-L-L-I-A-M-S. Jacob Williams. So why are we learning to say these words individually with the first name and last name? Is because it is a very important. Sometimes people make mistakes using a name that they may spell it wrong. So for instance, if I was on the phone and I'm the person who's talking to Jacob, I don't know if Jacob is telling me that his name is Jacoby or Jacob. So that's why Jacob will have to spell out his first name correctly to me on the phone, so that way I can write his name onto the computer system or on the paper or whatever the person is working from, so that way they can have that on file. So that's why it is important to practice this in spelling your first name and last name. Alright, I'm going to zoom out from here, and then we are going to learn the alphabet letters by the pronunciation of the alphabet. Okay, listen to how the letters of the alphabet are pronounced in English. English and Korean, they almost have the same sounds, but differently. All those years that I've been working in the elementary schools, and I had learned that I have sound these words incorrectly, but when I learned from other teachers and peers that I have worked with, they told me how to pronounce it correctly in class. So let me zoom it in for you guys. Alright, let's zoom it in. Alright, let's zoom it in, and let's start with letter A. Letter A is the most difficult one to sound it out loud, because everybody always figure out, like, is it eh or ah? Okay? Letter A sounds like ah, like apple, apple. So because when I was working with students in class, I learned to catch it quickly from what the teacher said. It says the sound is actually is ah. B. B sounds like b, b. C and K almost sounds so similar, but we only need one sound from C. So k, that's it. K. D. D sounds like d, d. Think as dog, and then just pronounce it like d, d. And then letter E. Letter E is very difficult because it's almost sounds like ah, but it's eh. So like elephant, eh. So say it with me, eh. So ah, eh. Notice the difference between these two? Sometimes students in class, they get confused because they thought that I either sounded the A sound or the E sound. So it's important to know the difference between these two letters. So again, ah, eh. F is f. Sounded like Frank, okay? Frank. So G, like think as g, g. Like gargle, Google. Think as those words and then sound it like g, g. H. H is another one that's very difficult to pronounce as well. So H is h, huff. Like think as the huff word, and heart. Like huff, huff. Now the letter I, a lot of us get confused in the elementary school. As we grow up, we didn't realize that the I sounds way different. So I sound is egg. So egg, egg. Think as igloo. So egg. Again, I is egg. J. J is j, j. And then K. K, k. So one sound from C, k, and then K sounds like a longer K. So k. L sound is very difficult. I find this letter sound is very difficult because a lot of students that I work with sometimes get so confused. But the way that the teacher that was in class that was working with me, it always sounds like look. Okay? That's how the sounds of the L sounds like look. So it almost sounds like but it's not. It's l. So it's either or. Okay? So it's so confusing, but it takes practice with the L sound. M is mm. The N sound is n. O, think as octopus. Ah, okay? Not like P sound, p. So, p. Q is one of the sounds that a lot of people get confused. It is actually qu, okay? R. R is, think as like roar, like a dinosaur roar, okay? Like roar, okay? S sound. T sound. U sound. Think as an umbrella. Okay? V sound is v. It's like think of vroom. So v. Going back to the U sound, think as umbrella. So okay? W sounds like woof. Okay? So woof. Think as the dog like woof, woofing at you. So it sounds like woof. X, this one, I learned that this one was difficult. In elementary school, the teacher that I was working with, she said it sounds like this. It almost sounds like the S sound, but the X is okay? That's how you pronounce it. Y sound is y, okay? Y. Z sound like z, okay? Think as zebra. Z. There are YouTube videos that you can look up to pronounce these alphabet letters to get more of practicing the pronunciation of the alphabet. But I did the best I can to sound all of these for you, and I hope that these are helpful. And like I said, the most challenging one is the L, the X, sometimes the Y, the U. It takes time, but once you get the hang of the pronunciation, you'll do fine. Alright, now that we passed this, we are going to go to the next one. It says right here, listen to the audio as people spell their names and write out each spelling. Okay? So, first one's already been done for us. It says Jack Lord. Jack Lord. Alright? I'm going to zoom it in so that way we can have a general idea how to spell these name first. Alright? First one right here, number 2. Alright, let me grab my piece of paper here. Alright. This one is a very hard name. This is a woman's name. Belinda. How do we spell Belinda? Belinda starts with the b sound, B. And then we're going to put a dash here. This is called a dash. And a E sound. And then that L sounds again. Linda. Okay, like Linda. Okay. And then the next letter. I, which is the I sound. And then next letter. N, which is N. Okay. Belinda, which is the letter D. And the is A. Belinda. Okay? Alright, next word. Lewis. This can also be a last name, because I hear this all the time. Lewis. Okay? So that will be the L sound. L, l, okay? And then the E sound. Eh. Next letter. W, w, which is the W sound. And then the next one. Ik, which is the I sound. Last letter. S is the S sound. Lewis. Lewis. Okay? Alright, next one. Adams. Adams. That one's really hard, okay? Alright, let's go spell it Adams. Adams starts with the letter A. The letter A. Next word is D. D, the D sound. D, D. Alright? Next letter, which is letter A. Next letter, which is letter M. Last letter, which is the S sound. Adams. Adams. Alright. Next one should be easy. You guys should know this one. The next word of the name is Bob. Bob. So Bob is B, B with the O, with the B sound. And then next letter is O, like Next letter is B, B, B sound. Bob. Bob. Pronounced as Bob. Alright. Let's go to the next one here. Spencer. Ooh, Spencer. That is a long name. Spencer. S. S as a Sam. And then letter P, the P, P sound. And then what do you guys think? Letter E. Next letter, N, N. N. Next letter, K, K. C. Next letter, which is E. Next letter, R, R, R. This one is a very long last name to spell. But it is spelled Spencer. Spencer, okay? Spencer. Say it with me. Spencer. Alright, next one. Kate Wallace. Kate Wallace. Wow, this is a very long first full name. Okay, so first name is Kate. Kate is spelled K dash A dash T with the T sound dash E, the sound. Alright. Her last name is Wallace. Okay? That means that's a W. And then that's an A sound. And then L dash another L. And then and then C sound. And then last one, which is E. Kate Wallace. Wallace. Kate Wallace. Which is why it's very important to pronounce these alphabet letters correctly and spell it out to people when you speak to them. Alright, next one. This one is a very long last name and first name. Okay. So Jackson. So Jackson. So let's spell that one. S as a Sam. S. A as an apple. And then the U sound. Uh. U is an umbrella. And then l. The L sound. Okay? So, okay?